President Trump is on fire right now. We've just passed 3 new additional bills, guys. America is winning big time. This is huge. It is taking care of America, draining the swamp every single day, guys. These 3 new bills passed: the Genius Act, the Anti-CBDC Act, the Clarity Act. Things that the GOP has been trying to get passed for years are finally passed under Trump's leadership. The deal maker, guys, he was meeting with all the Republicans, making sure that he gets his stuff passed to put America first, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, because this is massive. Not only are GOP members happy about it, but America is happy about it. It's all about the midterms, putting America on the fast track to be the best economy ever. Republicans have a 5-point lead, guys, right now in the polling for the 2026 congressional midterms. 47% to 42% per the McLaughlin poll. This just shows you everybody is aligning with common sense, putting America first. Trump is winning big time. And not only that, guys, because we told you, the Social Security boost, Trump doing what he can to make sure that every single demographic is winning. Big changes are coming to Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid this fall. They're moving to only process payments digitally. No more paper checks, guys. This is going to be massive for these programs. Not only are they going to save billions of dollars in the paperwork, the upkeep, but they're also going to catch so much fraud that they have found that is occurring because they're sending out paper payments. People are taking the checks, cashing them, and it's not actually going to the right person. So what are they doing? They're making this big change this fall. It's going to put more money into Americans' pockets, savings big time. This is what Trump promised, guys, the senior boost, and this is winning again for everybody. The more fraud that we cut out, the more winning that we get. Also, President Trump is officially, guys, this is so good. I'm so tired that over the past 8-9 years, you saw people lie on Trump, defame Trump. Well, he's done with it. Trump is officially suing the Wall Street Journal for their fake news on him and Epstein conversation. I mean, even Elon Musk, guys, came out and defended Trump, saying, no, that's not Trump. He would never speak like that. It's about time that the propaganda is going away. Lawsuits are coming into play, and it gets even better. Jerome Powell, guys, has officially been criminally referred for alleged perjury about the $2.5 billion building renovation. This comes, I mean, guys, everything's being revealed right now. Representative Anna Paulina Luna, who's in charge of a committee to just unveil all the corruption, claims to have evidence that the Biden DOJ destroyed materials related to the Jeffrey Epstein case. And think about it. If President Trump was guilty of anything regarding Jeffrey Epstein, the Democrats would have used it against him in the past 4 years, because you know that they tried everything else to put him in jail. They even created these felonies out of misdemeanors past the statute of limitations. So you know that Trump is good when it comes to the Epstein files. But this is how big and crazy it's getting, guys. Even Nancy Pelosi has called the Epstein files a distraction. She knows the Democrats are heavily implicated in those files and that President Trump is safe. And guys, right here, this is so massive. With these bills passing, Trump is going after all the lawfare. Guess who was just named and advanced as the top federal prosecutor for the Capitol, Washington, D.C., Judge Jeanine Pirro. Trump knew what he was doing. He put her as interim. Now she's the top federal prosecutor, going to clean house, drain the swamp, hold people accountable, guys. This is what winning looks like. I'm so happy to be reporting this news. I know you're excited. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, because this is massive. I want to say thank you to everybody who is watching, all of our subscribers and viewers. Thank you so much for your support. We appreciate you so much. And if you're not subscribed, please consider joining our family as we continue to grow this community. We want you here. We want to bust our butt and give you the best show every single day, bring you the most value. I want to say thank you to everybody that gives a super chat donation, everybody that is a member. Remember, this money goes to local charities on the 22nd of every single month, guys, and we are giving big time. I want to give some special love to Elaine Demeen, OG of the channel. Show Elaine some love. And T Heavy Guy for gifting already 10 True Life News memberships. If you got a free membership, show them some love in the chat. And if you don't mind doing us a huge favor of hitting that thumbs up like button, guys. The taxpayers are finally winning, guys. This has not happened in so long. This is so big. Check this out. I'm so happy to be reporting this because we're finally putting America first. Check this out.
The Senate passes this bill last night, and now it's being debated, and it's headed to the House for a deadline of tomorrow. This is the $9 billion rescissions package. Look, is it a lot of money? No, not really in the grand scheme of how much money we spend as a country, but it's a very important step. It dumps some key components of Democrat leverage that we know were, let's just say, less than accountable or maybe even poorly utilized. Look, USAID that gets most of the funding acts here. In fact, it's $8.3 billion of that cuts. In the bill, which is awesome because, $1 billion of that was going to the UN Human Rights Council, which is ridiculous considering who were the members on the UN listen to this. China. Okay, they imprisoned Uyghur Muslims and welded apartment complex doors shut during COVID. Cuba, Iran, it was not actually a member, but it chaired the 2023 UN Human Rights Social Forum, which is a complete joke. Russia was until 2022. Sudan was actually on it, who waged war in Darfur. There's a few others that are questionable on there. Those are not exactly countries that I see as a beacon of human rights. So I'm glad that billion or so dollars is defunded. The
Guys, and again, too, it's just beautiful because we're defunding all the corruption. The results show, guys, right here. Republicans have a plus 5-point lead right now in the 2026 congressional midterms. Even with all the Epstein stuff, even with all the stuff that's happened, we still have a huge lead, 47 to 42% per the McLaughlin poll. President Trump's approval rating is plus 9 points right now at 52%. What does this mean? People are loving what Trump is doing. They're voting for the tax cuts. They're voting to cut all this wasteful spending. Give it back to Americans, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. This is what we voted for.
Needed actually to bring in JD Vance for the tie-breaking vote on this is so shocking to me. Anyway, in that also there's another $2.5 billion in their development assistance, which was part of funding clean drinking water that USAID said they were doing. But if you saw our episode on this about, I don't know, like a year ago, we showed you that it was costing the government more than 25 times as much as it was costing the same people in a private nonprofit to drill a well. Someone laid this out perfectly on X, and we actually checked these numbers. He said a well cost $10,000, which we showed to build in Kenya. 100 wells, max $3 million. 100 wells gave 500,000 people water, which comes out to about $6 per person. Kenya has 53.1 million people. $320 million should have been what it cost to give everybody in Kenya water, but since 2010, Kenya has received more than 25 times that, $24 billion in foreign aid, enough to solve the problem 50 times over, and yet 40% of Kenya still doesn't have clean drinking water. Clearly the aid ain't working, pal. Nixed. Mostly because the bulk of that aid wasn't even going to the people it was intended for.
There is nothing to be proud of when 90%, according to Samantha Powers, is not even making it to the people to whom it was promised.
You hear that, guys? 90% of the money that we send over when it comes to all this wasteful spending through USAID, 90% of it doesn't even get to the people that it was going to. That's why we defunded it. That's why we get all this stuff passed, guys. Bring this money back. Why would we keep giving money overseas where there's no accountability, no audits, and yet Americans keep losing? Americans are hurting, guys. Even with this right here. The House passed the legislation to block a central bank digital currency. This is one of the biggest wins ever because, again, too, we don't need the federal government getting into every single thing that you buy, what you spend your money on, nothing. But this is the stuff that the Democrats voted for, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments if you appreciate this. If you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, guys, because this is massive. Not only are we exposing it, but Trump is winning with clawing all this wasteful spending back. This is such a taxpayer win. More money comes back, more money for Americans.
I lose absolutely no sleep at all over basically all the cuts to USAID. But the thing that I actually applaud, probably more than anything, the cuts to the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, being a broadcaster myself. This is the parent company for NPR and CBS. They're losing, or they were getting, $1.1 billion and no longer the Democrats' mouthpiece.
NPR, unfortunately, has become really just a propaganda voice for the left.
So weird. It turns out when you dedicate your platform to liberal ideology, when you make most of your editorial turning a blind eye to the fact that we had a president that was basically a vegetable, then blindly supporting his selected, not elected, replacement, Kamala, and then bashing Trump. Weird how when he wins, he might not want to give you any money anymore. I mean, are you surprised by this? Apparently they are. The extremely biased and dense CEO of NPR has been in some weird delusional damage control trying to say, no, we're not biased.
As far as the accusations that we're biased, I would stand up and say, please show me a story that concerns you, because we want to know and we want to bring that conversation back to our newsroom.
Wow.
No, you don't. Like, you are so biased. I said yesterday, NPR has zero, nada,
Zero, guys.
no Republicans in their newsroom to the nearly 100 Democrats. And you're going to stand there, owning a fireworks stand, and tell me that you're not biased? This is the woman who we are defunding right here.
Our reverence for the truth might be a distraction that's getting in the way of finding common ground and getting things done.
Dear Lord.
Guys, again, this is so sadly that your $1.1 billion a year was going to this disgusting mess. And what I love too, guys, is all the stuff that's coming out just like this right here. Representative Anna Paulina Luna claims to have evidence that the Biden DOJ destroyed materials related to the Jeffrey Epstein case. This is a representative in charge of looking into all this per the leading report. And it just so happens, guys, that we get this massive win. The Judge Jeanine Pirro advances as the top federal prosecutor for the Capitol after a contested judiciary vote. This is what we voted for. Trump knows what he's doing, guys. Everybody's playing checkers. He's playing chess. He's going to prosecute everybody, and he has the dream team coming together. He knew when he brought in Jeanine Pirro, she was going to be hard and she was going to be a pit bull to make it happen. And now we are seeing this live, guys, where people are being elevated to go after the deep state, go after the corruption, guys. This is beautiful. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Lydia Erickson, thank you so much for the super chat. Said April made me do it. Let's go. And Robert Cash, thank you so much. Said truth, God bless the truth. I love it. Y'all show Lydia Erickson and Robert Cash some love in the chat, as well as T Heavy Guy for gifting 10 TrueLife News memberships.
Of truth just got in the way. You're funding, lady. But her congressional hearing was probably the best.
Do you believe that America is addicted to white supremacy?
I believe that I tweeted that, and as I've said earlier, I believe much of my thinking has evolved over the last half decade.
It has evolved. Why did you tweet that?
I don't recall the exact context, sir, so I wouldn't be able to say.
Okay, she went on to say that she actually was reading a book on it. She didn't remember a whole book. It must have been a real page turner. Or you didn't actually believe those things and you were just virtue signaling and lying about it, by the way, in hopes of some ascension to the peak of the mountain of white guilt culture. Oh, I'm sorry, Congressman, I forgot how racist and woke I am. My bad. By the way, please keep my funding going. Nope. I don't think we will. This is, in fact, exactly why you're getting defunded. Because even when you're confronted with the fact that you are wrong and your point of view is total trash, you can't see past your own smugness. There is no salvaging this culture of elitist mindset. Just delete this line item and move on. Oh, Carl, these are people's jobs. Well, look, they should have thought about that when they were dunking on the entire political party that turned out to be the majority of the country. You don't get to come into my kitchen, kick my dog, drink the milk out of my fridge, and then ask me to subsidize your taxi ride home. Bye-bye. Some senators, though, they dissented over this vote. One lib, Chuck Schumer, falling back to the, people will die.
Now, when a hurricane makes landfall, people need immediate, up-to-date alerts to stay safe. And sometimes, all too often, Public broadcasting is the only way for people to hear what's going on. It's a matter of life and death.
Guys, don't you love it every single time that when it comes to the Democrats, it's always life or death? But what I love is, again, guys, we're draining the swamp. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys, because this is beautiful. The federal workforce has shrunk by over 22,000 in the D.C. area alone during Trump's first months in office, per Bloomberg. The swamp is being drained, guys. And not only that, you have pit bulls that are not stopping. Senators Rick Scott and Rand Paul file a legislation mandating a full audit of the Federal Reserve System, Board of Governors, and all regional federal banks. Guys, they said if the goal were to lose trillions of dollars and get mired in scandals, Jay Powell would be the gold standard. Rand Paul said it's a long past time for Congress to stop shirking its duty and hold the Federal Reserve accountable, guys. I'm telling you, everybody's going after the corruption, auditing, and making sure that our taxpayer dollars, your taxpayer dollars, are being spent wisely is finally coming, guys. And people are getting behind Trump's movement. This is all because of Trump, Doge, Elon Musk, and exposing the corruption. This is what we voted for, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, because this is winning.
Bad for anyone's health, right? First off, no one's going to die because they cut their NPR opinion radio. And selling it that way is like super disingenuous. By the way, if you're listening to NPR in an emergency, you should be airlifted for a CAT scan, because there's actually a dedicated frequency that is pre-programmed into most AM/FM radios. Newsmax actually sells one of these called WX. It's a weather, which is a streaming broadcast of weather to your local or to your locale with emergency messaging. Look, it's also funded by NOAA. It's not subject to the cuts proposed in next year either. And it's definitely not subject to the cuts proposed now. Look, if you think your product is so great, lady, that it's like, I guess, so necessary, go do it on your own, like everyone else in the media industry. Look, we come in every day. We have to produce a product that people like enough to keep that viewer, so people want to advertise on our network during our commercial breaks. I tell my staff all the time, look, it costs a ton of money for advertisers on this network. Is the information that we are producing giving the viewer that value during the segments on either side of those commercials?
And guys, USAID, not even close, guys. They were funneling slush fund money for the Democratic regime. It's finally stopping, guys. We're kicking everybody's butt. Look at this. CNN is now being forced to report. Look at this, guys. It's so beautiful. Oh, wait. It took that away. CNN is being forced to report that, oh, there was a budget surplus in June. Oh, retail sales are up. Welfare, guys, listen to this. Welfare applications fall for the 5th straight week. And unexpectedly low inflation. Oh, so what Trump is doing is working. Homeboy knows what he's doing when it comes to the economy, guys. I love this, guys. If you love it, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button. Deborah Gomez, welcome to the family. Let's go. And Lay Lewis, let's go. Show Lay some love, Deborah some love, and the Texas Lazy. Love the channels. Y'all show them some love, guys. Big time news today. We finally got 3 huge bills passed. Trump and his team are not playing around, guys. What you're about to see next, Steve Bannon and them give recommendations to the Trump administration over what to do on a lot of things, guys. And that's why we show them, because a lot of stuff is coming, and it's finally going to reveal so much corruption and bring the truth to the American people. Check this out.
We don't have Trump's back. In fact, we made the recommendations that are the best for President Trump in this movement, which is President Trump is best when it's attack, attack, attack. This is the deep state. This is the ruling class in America. They're trying to use it to destroy President Trump. And last night, I think he understood of the Wall Street Journal, as much as he's tried to do in the big, beautiful bill and these other things to get supply side tax cuts, as much as he's tried to do, it's never enough, because he has a populist nationalist movement and they hate. And this is old man Murdoch, who made the decision to come after President Trump. And I understand the lawsuit that they're putting together is going to be absolutely incredible. And you saw President Trump in True Social this morning. He can't wait to get Rupert Murdoch on the stand. Murdoch, squirmed out of having to do the Dominion thing because of the emails that Rupert Murdoch said we're going to make Trump a non-person, but he ain't going to get away from Trump this time. Poso, where are we in all this, sir?
Guys,
Steve,
and I want to show you this right here. Trump says that I look forward to getting Rupert Murdoch to testify in my lawsuit against him and his pile of garbage newspaper, the Wall Street Journal. This is, guys, we bring you the receipts. This is the actual post that Trump posted saying that President Trump, it's right in the middle, President Trump will be suing the Wall Street Journal, News Corp, and Mr. Murdoch shortly. The press has to learn to be truthful and not rely on sources that probably don't even exist. Guys, Trump is fed up with being defamed, being lied on, being called certain names, and he is going after everybody. Because again, I showed you, who did he just elevate to the highest prosecutor in D.C., in the Capitol? Judge Jeanine Pirro advances as top federal prosecutor for the Capitol. Trump is playing chess. Everybody's playing checkers. He knows what he's doing to go after the corruption. Listen to this.
Tell you where we are. We're so back. Look, everyone is firing on all cylinders. The MAGA movement is completely united behind this fight right now. And, when I look at some of this, heard about this story coming out earlier in the day yesterday and spoke with a number of high-level contacts as well. I know you did. And I said, wait a minute, what do they have? And I kept getting back, they don't have anything. They have a story about a thing. And I said, well, where did they get this? And then it comes out that it's this letter that nobody's actually seen. I said, wait a minute. So what is your source if you don't actually have the letter? And I'm starting to think, Steve, I put this up on Twitter last night, that the source has something to do with former elements of the Department of Justice. I tweeted out last night that it sounds like their source might be Ghislaine Maxwell over some prison phone or something like this, because they don't have the letter. The White House asked for the letter. They wouldn't produce the letter. They wouldn't show this thing. They don't know where this is coming from. They've got a source. They claim it's Ghislaine Maxwell, maybe. I don't know. Then you've got the great Susan Crabtree. She sends me a message. She's got it up now as well over at Real Clear Politics, saying that the author of this report at the Wall Street Journal is a former member of the Department of Justice who was directly tied to who? Glenn Simpson, the founder of Fusion GPS. And we know that Fusion GPS, the Steele dossier, this also came up through the Wall Street Journal, through so many of these sources, so through many of the same channels. So I would love to see that if there is this lawsuit, if it does go forward, and I certainly hope that it does, I want to see the names. I want to see this connection. So the individual's name here, Joe Palazzo. Joe Palazzo is someone we need to look at. Listen to this. Joined the Wall Street Journal in 2010 from trade publication Main Justice, where he covered the U.S. Justice Department. He was over at the U.S. Justice Department prior to all of this. And it's really, really interesting. The Main Justice was Glenn Simpson's wife's publication. Simpson founded Fusion GPS. So there's a lot of connections, very strange connections here, Steve.
Fusion. Natalie's going to be with us. She's going to come in right after the break. This thing stinks to high heaven. Fusion GPS is about as dirty a political operative as you can possibly get. This all goes back to them. It turns out they never showed the letter to President Trump. He's got them on blast. They're going to put the Wall Street Journal, they're going to drop a suit on the Wall Street Journal and on Murdoch personally. My understanding is President Trump tried to engage with the senior levels and say, hey, show us what you got before you publish something. No, but they've been rumoring this, this is going to be things so big. It was a dud, a complete dud. I mean, do anybody think Trump talks like that or writes like that? It's absurd.
Guys, let me tell you this, and what I love is we have so many people coming out in his support. Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene came out and said, if President Trump was guilty of anything regarding Jeffrey Epstein, Democrats would have used it against him in the past 4 years. And these same Democrats feigning outrage over pedophiles, defending drag queen story time, naked men dancing in front of children at pride parades, and mentally ill men in girls' and women's bathrooms Democrats, spare us your fake outrage. This is the right course of action. Donald Trump came out and said, based on the ridiculous amount of publicity given to Jeffrey Epstein, I have asked Attorney General Pam Bondi to produce any and all pertinent grand jury testimony subject to court approval. This scam perpetuated by the Democrats should end right now. Guys, this is what I love, is that you can't beat cold, hard facts and logic. Again, the entire Biden administration, DOJ, Lawfare, Merrick Garland, the special counsel Jack Smith, everybody tried to put Trump's butt in jail and they couldn't do it. If they had something like this, they would have used it. He would have been put in jail, guys. This right here is making sure and showing everybody the facts beat out. Lay Lewis, thank you so much for the super chat. Let's go. Say, hey, Joel, thank you for all you do for us. I'm willing to go back for surgery now. I'm ripped my bicep rotator cuff and broke my collarbone. Oh, no. I thought I'd call and hang out with y'all until they call me back. Lay, we pray that you have a good surgery. Hopefully everything works out okay. Guys, y'all show Lay some love in the chat. This is big, big stuff coming out, guys. We are finally being like the lawsuits, especially when they come from Trump. Trump has already won a CBS lawsuit. He has already won the 60 Minutes lawsuit. He's not playing around when it comes to them defaming him. It's over. Listen to this.
And they don't have any proof. This thing is a complete debacle, but it showed their hands. This is why we advocated from the beginning, Jack, be on offense, be on offense, be on offense. They're trying to set a million traps, and there are more traps out there. The best way to get around these traps is go on offense. Attack, attack, attack. That's the mode that Trump's best in. And it's the Murdochs that are coming after you because they're the heads of the ruling class. They're the media arm, the propaganda arm for the ruling class. They're out there in Sun Valley at the billionaires conference with all these tech billionaires and all the tech bros plotting. And the more President Trump does for them, the more they want to destroy him. We're going to take a short commercial break. We'll return. Natalie Winter.
Guys, this is so massive right here. When the House passed the Clarity Act, the Genius Act, the Anti-CBDC Surveillance State Act, guys, this is winning for America, baby. And what is it doing? It's giving us this. Republicans have a plus 5-point lead in the 2026 congressional midterms, 47% to 42 per the McLaughlin poll. And even when it comes to Trump's approval rating, plus 9%, guys. 52 to 43%, we are winning. Trump is just kicking butt with all of his policies, and he's gaining more. And what I love is the people that are fighting for this, the people that are making sure that the average American's voice is being heard, is helping us to win. George Masalis, thank you so much for the super chat, brother. Y'all show George some love in the chat, member of the channel. Listen to this.
Gentlelady from Georgia is now recognized.
Mr. Speaker, the American people are $37 trillion in debt. The Department of Defense's mission statement is to deter war and ensure our nation's security. That is their mission, and that is exactly what their funding should be for. I'd like to ask, what foreign country showed up to help Americans in our need, in our time of distress, in our humanitarian crises? Which foreign country has come to clean up the hundreds of people that die every single day on the streets from fentanyl? Which foreign country showed up to defend our border as we were invaded by millions of people for the past 4 years? Which foreign country said, here, America, here's millions and billions of dollars to help you? I'm going to tell you, zero. Zero foreign countries showed up. And here we are again, while the American people are enslaved by $37 trillion in debt, a debt we can never climb out of, but yet a debt that continues to rise because here in Congress, we go by this belief that we have to fund every foreign country all around the world. And I say enough. And the American people say enough. Right now, Americans can't afford their rent. They can't, young people cannot afford to buy a home. Ask any 20-year-old, 30-year-old and ask them if they believe they will ever be a homeowner. And their answer overwhelmingly is no. Americans can't afford their bills. They can't afford car insurance, health insurance, homeowners insurance. and life does not look good in the future. But you want to know why? Inflation is high. Do you want to know why life continues to be unaffordable? Because Congress cannot rein in its America Last spending.
Ooh.
It cannot stop, and it refuses to stop. It continues to say yes to the lobbyists for the military-industrial complex. It continues to say yes to every lobbyist that walks in this institution as congressmen and women take donations into their campaign accounts.
Ooh,
Americans are the most...
Guys, calling them out. Guys, show some love for Marjorie Taylor Greene in the chat. I'm telling you, this could be the next new Speaker of the House because she's the one that's been putting forth all the bills, America First bills, and she's been getting a lot of stuff done, guys. And what I love is that every single time something is coming out, she's right in front of it to put not only America first, but to put Trump first and make sure she's got his back. Because what you just heard, how is it that we got to continue borrowing money to give money to all the other dang countries in the world, and the only people that are benefiting from it are the people in Washington? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, because this type of stuff, guys, I'm telling you, this is where it's going to lead down to. Judge Jeanine Pirro advanced as the top federal prosecutor for the Capitol. Trump is going to go after all the lawfare. He's got his people in place. People are calling it out. This is what we voted for.
Generous in the world. Americans can donate through charities to foreign countries to help foreign issues and foreign people. But the American people should not be forced to write the check, and the Department of Defense should be able to focus on their mission to deter war and ensure our nation's security. Mr. Speaker, I ask my colleagues to support this amendment, and I yield. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We support our great men and women in our military, and we want to fund them to have the best equipment, be afforded the best housing, the best pay, and to be treated the best among the world. But I have an amendment today that would strike $118 million of funding to overseas humanitarian disaster and civic aid programs of the Department of Defense. These accounts fund programs for humanitarian assistance in foreign countries, in other nations, for foreign peoples, humanitarian mine action programs, foreign disaster relief, for foreign countries and foreign peoples that the American people are having to pay for. And I want to remind everyone, the American people are $37 trillion in debt because of this institution and the way Congress has spent their money. Think about our own national disasters and problems that we face here at home, the American taxpayer faces.
Guys, and again, too, stuff just came out hours ago. I want to show you this. It's so just revealing, guys. It's so revealing. Tom Cotton, who's a senator, Senator Tom Cotton, says in light of recent and concerning reports about Microsoft using engineers in China to maintain Department of Defense systems, I've asked Secretary of Defense to look into this matter. We must guard against all threats with our military supply chain. George Masalis, thank you for upgrading your membership, brother. Y'all show George some love in the chat. How in the world are we allowing a company like Microsoft to employ and have people from engineers from other countries that are our number one enemy, our number one threat in the world, to maintain our Department of Defense systems? Guys, you cannot tell me there's not corruption in this. There is not deals that are being made. There is not money being slid somewhere to try and hook somebody up so that they can get access and people are getting paid off. This is the type of stuff. These are the bombshell news, the breaking news that we're bringing to you guys to show you how much we have been ripped off, lied to. People have been taken from us right in front of our eyes, and we're exposing it all, guys. If you appreciate this, let us know your thoughts in the chat.
Hurricane Helene, Hurricane Milton, the Lahaina wildfires, the LA wildfires, the Texas flooding, where there's still over 100 missing people, the opioid epidemic, the fentanyl epidemic, and all over the country, people are suffering. The American people voted to put America first. And Mr. Speaker, the American people are still being put last. Right now, the average health insurance premium for a family has risen by 22% since 2018. Fentanyl still kills hundreds of people every single day in America. And more than 32,000 veterans, people who served in our military, were homeless in 2024. And there were 6,407 suicides among Americans in 2022. This is unacceptable. In our Department of Defense appropriations funding, we should be funding for our military and not paying for funding for humanitarian aid in crisis in foreign countries. America simply cannot afford it anymore. Mr. Speaker, I reserve.
Guys, so much is coming out, guys. Just thinking about all those people that should be getting our hard-earned dollars, taxpayer dollars. That's who's supposed to be going to, and yet it's not. And we continue to see that the Democrats are on the wrong side of history. Trump keeps putting America first. Just even, guys, with the bloated entire DC federal workforce. Look at this. The federal workforce has shrunk by over 22,000 in DC area alone during Trump's first months in office per Bloomberg. Draining the swamp. Why is it that the people in DC are the richest people in America? People getting paid off? People getting taken care of? It ends with, and this is what I love, it's because it's not just Trump. There's so many people that are fighting for America first, like Marjorie Taylor Greene, like you have Missouri Senator Josh Hawley. This is what I love. Acid Burn, thank you so much for joining the family and gifting 5 True Life News memberships. Let's go. Y'all show Acid Burn some love in the chat, guys. If you got a free membership, I love it. Growing the True Life News family. Listen to this.
Speaker, Fox News contributor, and author of Trump's Triumph. Newt Gingrich, welcome back. So I'm reading your piece. President Trump challenges the Congress to balance the budget. Okay, I'll tell you what, though. Economic growth is the key to balancing the budget. Pro-growth policies, including taxes, of course, and spending and regulations, and a sound dollar-based monetary policy. But I say growth should be the strategy. The balanced budget would be a derivative of that strategy at some future point. All right? That's my take. What's the Newt Gingrich take?
I think that the difference psychologically, if you're for a balanced budget and if you're just for a deficit, is enormous. I watched this spring, if you're going to borrow $500 billion, I want mine. On the other hand, if you're actually going to get to a balanced budget, I'm willing to sacrifice a little bit. So I agree with you, and you know that we've been together since the Reagan years on economic growth. But I think to reestablish that we're going to balance the budget, to make that a key part of this, changes the entire dynamic on the spending side. And the truth is, a government which spends less, taxes less, regulates less, grows more, has higher incomes for people at home, that's the model that actually works. And I think I'm not quite as wildly optimistic as the president. I think it's probably a 5 to 7 year project. It took us 4 years, and as you remember, Larry, I'm proud to say I'm the only speaker in modern history to offer 4 consecutive balanced budgets. Not in 100 years has it been done. So I do think there's a way to do it, but I think it has to be practical. It absolutely has to have a big growth component. I was just talking today with, for example, Grover Norquist about the potential unleashing effect if Secretary Bessent were to simply indicate that we're not going to tax inflation on capital gains. The amount that would, the revenue stream that would generate would be unbelievable as it liberates capital and allows people to actually sell their homes or their businesses in a way that makes total sense economically. So you and I are close to agreement. I would probably say a balanced budget through economic growth, major reforms, and frugality on spending. That combination will lead you to a dramatically better America than where we are right now.
No, I like that. I like that. I think it's a very good strategy. I mean, the numbers pan out so nicely. The difference between, let's say, 3.5% growth and 1.8, which is what the Congressional Budget Office and the whole deep state of Washington, the Federal Reserve, the Joint Tax Committee, all those guys, throw them into one big Taj Mahal. They come up with you can't grow faster than 1.8%. On the other hand, if Trumpian policies of lower taxes and deregulation and what did you say, frugal restraint, that kind of thing, yes, that would give you, the estimates vary, but it's probably $5 trillion in additional revenues over 10 years. $5 trillion. That's a big number.
Guys, that is a massive number, but what I love too is it's not just about growing, it's about catching all the fraud, guys. Let me know if you appreciate this. Nearly 50 criminal illegal aliens were just arrested in a massive raid across Alabama as part of a PP loan fraud scheme. Guys, this type of stuff is happening every single day. And what I love is that we're showing you the truth. All the Democrats, so many people said, oh, it's not happening. It doesn't exist. There's nothing to see here. Guess what? You know what the PPP loan was from? COVID. All the fraud. We printed trillions of dollars, no accountability, no audits, no nothing. Now we've caught this huge ring right here, guys. Immigration enforcement operations target criminal ecosystem. Guys, this is what I love, is that we're catching this every single day. If you appreciate this, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, guys, this is massive winning for Americans. The more fraud we catch, the more the economy grows, the more we give back to American first policies. Acid Burn, thank you so much for giving another 5 TrueLife News memberships. Let's go. Guys, show Acid Burn some love in the chat. 10 TrueLife News memberships given. Guys, growing the TrueLife News family. I love it.
And you know what else? Right. The newfound tariff revenue estimates are $3 trillion. So here we are, Newt. Just in the last 10 seconds, I've given you almost $9 trillion of revenues. And I did that in just now 20 seconds. How about that?
Look, you apply artificial intelligence to everything from the Defense Department to people who should be working and aren't, to the big bureaucracies that could probably be 30% or 40% smaller if you used artificial intelligence. You can get to a smaller, more effective, more dynamic America with a dramatically bigger economy, with a lot more take-home pay, and frankly, with pensions and savings for senior citizens on a grand scale. All of this can be a win-win strategy if we put it together right.
And it will pay for these young kids to go to work. Then they won't listen to Mandami the Commie and all this far left, socialist stuff. It'll pay for them to go to work, and it'll be interesting work. You're right. The AI revolution, Lord knows how much growth that's going to add to the story. Like in the 90s, the information revolution added to the story. It was productivity driven. There was no inflation. That's another thing. This is all real increases. We're not going to worry about inflation. The one thing, though, I'm not crazy about, Newt, I've never been convinced of something called a constitutional amendment to balance the budget. I just kind of stop at the water's edge on that one.
Well, we don't.
Guys, and what he's talking about, because again, constitutional amendment. Nobody, let me know your thoughts on this. Nobody gets paid in Congress or Senate if they do not have a balanced budget. If you do not have a balanced budget, you're not allowed to rerun for your position in either the Senate or in the House. That's what some people are pushing for, like Senator Tommy Tuberville, to make sure to hold people accountable. And I'm for that. I think, again, if they can't balance the budget, guess what? You don't get paid because you're not doing your dang job. And if you can't balance the budget and stop taking from Americans more than and giving it to other countries, well, guess what? You don't get to run for office again. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, because that stuff is happening behind the scenes where a lot of people want to put that in the Constitution.
We don't need it. Look, we got 300 votes for a constitutional amendment in the House. We had 66 in the Senate, one short. So we just decided to pretend we'd done it, and we went out and balanced the budget. I don't think you don't need to pass the amendment if you just go balance the budget.
I think that's fabulous. I think that's absolutely fabulous. That's a great way to look at it, by the by. Of course, you know, $9 billion in rescission authority, which we just got through the Senate, wasn't easy, like pulling teeth. Had to bring in J.D. Vance.
Right.
I had Russ vote on earlier in the show. You know, you're up on the website. Doge has found $190 billion in you know, waste, fraud, and abuse. So there's stuff that we got to do, but it's not that easy. It's not that easy to do. I mean, here I am saying a rising tide lifts all boats. That's Kennedy, JFK, and Reagan. That's growth. Budget cutting is, you know, Newt, it's not easy.
Well, yeah, but no, but look, candidly, I want a smaller government. I don't want the government to be this big. I don't want it to be this wasteful. I don't want it to have some of the policies that are crazy. And I think if the goal of the rescissions is a major step towards a balanced budget, it's going to be a lot easier to get the votes than if it's just mindless cutting.
Right.
People, if you're just going to borrow money anyway, I want mine. But if you're willing to actually move to a balanced budget, I'm willing to sacrifice a little bit too.
I'd also like to be able to say to people that tomorrow's dollar will be worth the same as today's dollar. I'd like to have some confidence. Not only that we'd be the world's reserve currency, but I'd like him to have some confidence in what I sometimes call stable money or king dollar or something like that. You know, tomorrow's dollar should buy just as much as today's dollar. Not less, but just as much.
Guys, and all this stuff is coming, guys. Look at this right here. And I love this because it's the wins after wins after wins. Trump, this is from Caroline Leavitt, our press secretary, who said Trump admin hails summer gas prices dropping to a 4-year low. 4-year low. Summer gas prices going the lowest it's ever been. This is like impacting Americans' pockets immediately. Immediate wins for Americans, guys. And again, why? Because Trump unleashed energy. What did he always say? Drill, baby, drill. This is MAGA at its finest. That average people, the average American, gets to feel that they are winning time and time again because of what Trump is doing. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys, because again, too, all the stuff that's coming, all the distractions, all the stuff that the Democrats have been trying to put on Trump, it's backfiring big time. What I'm about to show you guys, I love it because the Democrats tried to cover up something. Now it's being uncovered, and now Trump is exposing them all. Listen to this.
Cover up. And it's the thing they've been covering up for years. Their new favorite word, not eggs, Epstein.
The American people deserve to know the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth as it relates to this whole sordid Jeffrey Epstein matter.
Where is that client list? What?
Really? And I just want to say this too, guys, because didn't we have the client list for like the past 4 years? Didn't Biden, as president, have Merrick Garland and all them? Couldn't they have released it? Couldn't they have exposed it all? Couldn't they have brought justice or whatever if it even existed? That's what Trump is trying to say, that if there was something there to release, even the Democrats would have released it, but they will be implicated because they're in it. Top Democrat officials, Democrat celebrities, people are in there. That's why they didn't release it, but now they're trying to get Trump to release it, and they're trying to make a big deal about it when it's all a big lie.
Is Attorney General Pam Bondi hiding? She needs to release the Epstein files as soon as possible.
There are certainly files that can be released. I sent a letter to the Attorney General saying all of these files should be released.
I think we should be releasing the files right now.
Epstein used to be a forbidden word for Democrats. Now they can't get it out of their mouth. Even Morning Joe's wondering what changed.
Why didn't Democrats call for it from 21 to 25?
I can't answer for Merrick Garland or any of, anybody else in the Department of Justice.
Epstein's been dead for 6 years. The Democrats.
Guys, if you love this, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, guys, this is just, I love it whenever even like Joe Scarborough will call him out, do his actual job as a reporter and say, hey, why didn't you do anything for the 4 years? Oh, well, I can't speak to that. Yeah, because y'all are a bunch of liars.
wanted these files so badly, why didn't they ask the big guy? The squad says they were just too busy.
If you see such a need to investigate this, why didn't you raise it during the Biden administration? I mean, we couldn't find that you made any public comments about Epstein in previous administrations.
Well, I would have been happy to raise it then as well. Frankly, we were focused on so many different pieces.
Yeah, they were so focused.
Oh,
The last 4
really?
years. Now, if Trump's the dangerous dictator shredding our Constitution like the Democrats say he is, why are they so focused on the Epstein files of all things? The White House says it's pure politics.
The fact that Democrats have now seized on this as if they ever wanted transparency when it comes to Jeffrey Epstein, which is an asinine suggestion for any Democrat to make. The Democrats had control of this building, the White House, for 4 years, and they didn't do a dang thing when it came to transparency. It was this president who directed the Department of Justice and the Attorney General to do an exhaustive review of all files related to Jeffrey Epstein, which they did.
The left doesn't care about Epstein. They never have. And they definitely don't care about the victims or the corruption or the cover-up. They're just now doing the opposite of what Trump does. If Trump releases files that show Bill Clinton up to his ears in underage girls on Pedophile Island, the Democrats better be careful what they wish for. There's nothing righteous about what Democrats are asking for. It's just another political attack. While they think they're winning, they're actually not.
I mean, look, I think this one surprised me a bit because of all these complaints online going after Trump and the Epstein files. You might think his approval ratings were going down with Republicans. If anything, they're going up. Republicans who approve of Trump, look at our CNN poll. The prior one, 86%. The one out this week, 88% were Republicans. How about Quinnipiac? The prior poll, 87% approve of Republicans. This week out, 90% were Republicans. If anything, Donald Trump's approval rating has gone up since this whole Epstein saga started. He is at the apex or close there too in terms of his popularity with Republican voters, Epstein files, complaints, or not.
Guys, and again, it's the common sense. If Trump was in the Epstein files, the Democrats would have released it. If Trump could have been implicated in any sort of way, they would have released it. You can't tell me that they haven't tried. They tried to doctor up misdemeanors to make them into felonies. So now, what is it all about? Just trust in Trump and his dream team. Trump's playing chess. Trump's making sure to put America first. We just have to keep remembering America first policies, MAGA first.
Trump's popular, so they're cooking up hoaxes like crazy. Ready for the new one? Why is Trump putting makeup on his very normal hand bruise? And what the F is going on with Trump's hand? Democrats, they caught a glimpse of this picture and went berserk. But Trump went to the doctor and, unlike Biden, actually gave the press his medical report. Watch.
Recent photos of the president have shown minor bruising on the back of his hand. This is consistent with minor soft tissue irritation from frequent handshaking and the use of aspirin, which is taken as part of a standard cardiovascular prevention regimen.
Doctors also noticed this, a condition in Trump's leg veins that causes swelling.
In recent weeks, President Trump noted mild swelling in his lower legs. The president underwent a comprehensive examination, including diagnostic vascular studies. Bilateral lower extremity venous Doppler ultrasounds were performed and revealed chronic venous insufficiency, a benign and common condition, particularly in individuals over the age of 70. The president remains in excellent health.
Former Speaker of the House, K-Mac, is here. All right, Mr. McCarthy, the Epstein deal, was this something the Democrats were clamoring for when you were Speaker?
Never once. They never asked about it. They tried to hide from it. You know, they've got nothing going. It shows in the poll. They have no leader. They have no message. They have no policy. So they're lashing at this. But what I love, even watching CNN, they are failing. I mean, think about it for one moment. This is the most transparent president we've had, Donald Trump. He's before the press every single day. Look what he's accomplished. Exactly what we elected him to do and he said he would do. Secure the border. Get our economy moving again. We have a surplus this month. Unheard of. You've watched...
Unheard of, guys. Because remember, it's been like 20 years since we've had a surplus. And I want to show you this. Representative Anna Paulina Luna claims to have evidence that the Biden DOJ destroyed materials related to the Jeffrey Epstein case. Guys, I would not put it past them. Let me know your thoughts in the comments that they tampered with the files, they messed with the files, things were messed up, and can you even fully trust them after the Biden DOJ has been in there? We already know that you can't trust the Biden administration because Biden wasn't even president. You had staffers who were executing the auto pen under their own will. So whenever we see what's coming out, especially what's been under the Democratic regime, can it be trusted? I don't think so. And that's where we have to take a second look and say, okay, whatever we can release, like Trump said, that's credible, let's release it. But whenever you know that stuff's been doctored with, that's a different story. Let me know your thoughts in the comments.
Wages going up. Then you watch what he's done around the world. He has transformed this world, made sure Iran does not have a nuclear weapon, kept oil prices down so the gasoline price is lower. That's what we want our president focused on. That's what he said he would do, and he's the most transparent president we have had.
And we got this health report today. You got a hand bruise from all the shaking. I know a couple people, your colleagues, they try to prove their manhood by squeezing the hell out of your hand. And then the leg deal. Apparently that's common in people over 70.
Yeah, but I will tell you, his age may be there, but his body is not. This man hardly sleeps. I've never seen how many hours he works. I was just with a cabinet member last night having dinner, and he was saying, this president calls me late at night and early in the morning. I got to act like I'm awake. He's much younger than him.
It's like, I sometimes do that to my staff. I'll call them at like odd hours just to see if they're alive. they hop right to it. We like to play games. The press secretary doing a very good job, Caroline Leavitt.
Exceptional.
She was able to also say about the Epstein thing that many of these things are under seal through court order, and if any of the members of the press want to file with some of these judges to release something, there are avenues to do that too.
Well, let's be realistic here. There are victims there that we do not want released, and we shouldn't. The victims' names cannot come forward. But you know what? The president didn't hide from this. He had the authorities investigate this. So you know what? I want President Trump focused on exactly why we elected him. That's what he's doing. He had his individuals investigate that part, something the Democrats would not do. And the Democrats, if they were smart inside Congress, they'd listen to Fetterman and start working on policy. But otherwise, they're just moving to the socialist wings and trying to grab anything you want. And if they really want to talk about transparency, why don't they talk about that laptop that they went and got 51 Intel people to say it was a Russian hoax? No, it was Hunter Biden's. Why don't they focus on the things that they should be focused on?
All right. We'll see
Guys,
if they do that.
Such big stuff. And what I love, again, too, it's all about transparency. You got a ton of people that are coming out to speak on behalf of everything that's happening. Representative Anna Paulina is saying stuff. But you also got even, too, Mike Johnson, who's coming out and saying things, too, as well. And, guys, we show you everything. If you appreciate this, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, guys, so much is going on, but we are bringing you the entire truth. Check this out.
Actions here on the floor.
Mr. Speaker, have you committed to a date on the non-binding?
What the Trump administration is trying to do on the Epstein files, based on what the House tried to do tonight, are Republicans in the House trying to get more in line with the president and what he wants with some of the actions he's taken tonight on Epstein? What's going on?
There's no daylight between the president and House Republicans on transparency. And he's been very clear that he wants all credible information, credible evidence to be turned over to the people so that the people can decide. We trust the American people in their judgment. And we're for that. The president is for that, and there's different ways everybody expresses the same truth. But I would tell you that there's a unified opinion on that.
Mr. Speaker, have you committed to a date?
In the Rules Committee tonight, you guys advanced a rule with the Epstein resolution that you guys crafted. Do you commit to putting that on the floor for a full chamber vote?
The Rules Committee turned into a bit of a debacle this week because the Democrats were trying to politicize this. We were working on cutting fraud, waste, and abuse and wasteful spending, and they kept trying to hijack that and derail it and turn it into Epstein hearings. That's not what the subject was. So the Republicans on the Rules Committee, most of them that were present voted against Democrat amendments to try to hijack that. That was the right thing for them. They were wrongfully tarred and feathered by people who did not understand what was happening and said that they were covering up for, they were in favor of concealing Epstein files. It's simply not true. So the resolution that was advanced tonight in the Rules Committee was for them to go on record and say, no, of course we're for transparency. Of course, every single one of the Republicans on the Rules Committee are for transparency and for releasing the files, just as the President of the United States is. And they wanted that to make crystal clear, make it crystal clear. I think their vote tonight did. We'll determine what happens with all that. There's a lot developing. The president made his statements this afternoon. He's asked the Attorney General to release the information. I'm certain that she will. And everybody can make their own decisions about that. So we have a long list of priorities.
Will you commit to putting the Epstein rule on the floor, or are you going to put that on the floor?
We will see how all this develops. We're in line with the White House. There's no daylight between us. We want transparency, and I think that will be delivered for the people.
Mr. Speaker.
Guys, again, this is what I love, is that everybody's coming and talking now. We're going to get justice, and we're going to see everything that's happening behind the scenes. But what I love is that every pit bull is coming out to speak and not holding back anything. And what I love too, even with what you're about to see next, guys, lots of stuff is happening. Lots of people are trying to go after Trump's dream team, but we are showing you that, hey, we are aligned, we're putting MAGA first, and we are going to win. Listen to this.
Alex Jones joins us. Alex, first off, you have been, I think, the first to warn the nation about the issue of digital currency, and particularly a central bank digital currency. It looks like today President Trump wrote an executive order about digital currency. One of the things people said, hey, it doesn't shut down the possibility of central bank digital currency. The Genius Act didn't do it. They've got a deal that they're going to slip something in the NDAA, but that may not pass the Senate. Just can you give your overall, the audience, your overall observations when it comes to the potential dangers of a central bank digital currency, sir?
It's really hard to overstate how dangerous it is. It is literally the mark of the beast system, a global social credit score, the ESG corporate governance systems right down into your smart devices, your phone, the smart appliances, the AI, surveilling everyone in lifetime. As you know, China's already had it in place about 7 years. Ground robots, drones being directed by it. The goal is you can't leave 1 foot outside your house, to quote the Chinese Communist government, if you're not in good standing. You can't get on a train, you can't rent a car, you can't rent a hotel, you can't have a job. And the UN, the WEF, and others for decades, and Bill Gates has been heavily involved, have already created the standardization for this with China for a global rollout of central bank digital currencies that the nations then comport to. And essentially, it'll end up being one big global corporate new currency that would replace the dollar. So Trump wisely in the last few years said he is against any central bank digital currency system, and he would oppose one foreign, which is basically what the BRICS is forming, and that he would oppose one here. And he has supported Bitcoin and things that actually diversify currencies to the public that are free and open and open source and a competing market of currencies, which is the answer. And so it's really the ring of Sauron to bind everybody together with total control. And we have the head of the IMF and the World Bank and the International Bank of Settlements and the head of the UN and all of them. We have Tedros, the head of the WHO, saying we need a global central bank digital currency to control everything you do, to lock you down during new pandemics they've got planned. This is the mechanism. It'll be your internet ID. It'll do everything. And if we think as populists and conservatives and Christians and common sense people that we've been debanked and harassed as conservatives before, this is exponentially more dangerous. And the big international banks that the Federal Reserve is part of, private, they have said this is their holy grail, and they're really, really trying to roll it out. And so the fact that there is a pathway to this with a digital central bank digital currency dollar in this Genius Act, and that only MTG and you and a few others have been exposing it is a nightmare. But 11th hour, we shot down thanks to you and others exposing it, when they had mainly pro votes for it, a large majority were supporting the AI liability protection for 10 years from the states and individuals, where AI would basically be above the law and could do whatever it wanted. That was just a blank check. We were able to then shoot that down in the big, beautiful bill, 99-1 vote. And so I think as we expose this section of the Genius Act, I believe that we can probably get that pulled out as well, because I would imagine, Trump sticks to his guns, understands this, and I don't think that Trump probably even knows about this at this point. You might go have lunch with him again and update him on what's happening. But I think if we cause a big enough stink about this, we can shoot this down. But at the end of the day, it's a threat to the dollar.
Yeah. Guys, and again, too, not only is that a threat to the dollar, right here on screen, guys, I'm showing you Donald Trump said rates should be 1% to save $1 trillion a year. Calls Jerome Powell one of my worst appointments, and blames the Fed board for hurting so many people. So much of this stuff is happening, guys, where again, it's within the power of these people to affect every single life in America. But because of political agendas, because of people that are deep staters, or for whatever reason, they continue to live out their political agendas in their job, and it's hurting Americans. Queenie Yeshua, thank you so much for the super chat. Let's go. Said the Lord will not suffer the soul of the righteous to famish, but he casteth away the substance of the wicked in Yeshua name. Let's go. Y'all show Queenie Yeshua some love in the chat, because again, guys, it gets deeper and deeper.
Yeah, they say they're going to put it in. They've committed to put it in the House version, the NDA, whether it passes the Senate. But this thing's going to be a fight for the next couple of weeks. But once again, you're saying, hey, this is something we can't even let the possibility of happening, because there's so many vested interests that want it to happen.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm sure you've seen the clips, but it's all the big UN officials. It's all the central bank heads. It's every time they have a Davos meeting, it's constant. They say, oh, we're going to control where you go and what you do, and we're going to carbon tax you with this, and vaccine passports, and we're going to track how much meat you eat, and then you'll have an allotment of how much you're even allowed to buy. And it's just exponentially bad. We know under Biden, they hired 87,000 new IRS agents to target blue-collar workers to crush the economy. And it came out they were using AI with no warrants in live time with all the big banks watching everybody's transactions, and then a waiter that didn't pay $5,000, dollars in taxes for tips over a year gets hit by the IRS. No warrants, nothing. That's just a small window into what this would be like. But everything being tracked in live time. As you know, 2 years ago they passed the bill. It was already in all the new cars for a decade, but the Biden administration signed off on it and pushed it, that all the new cars track you in live time and have cameras and microphones embedded, watching and listening to you, reporting back, and they admit this is a plan for road taxing by the federal government. And so I remember 20 years ago when the smart meters came out, the industry said, oh, we're going to use this to control your meters, for the environment and the earth. People said, oh, they'll never do that. And now the last 5 years, California, Colorado, you name it, people get notices on their phone, and it says on the smart meter, and it says on the smart thermostat that's connected to the smart meter that they're controlling in your house, hey, we're turning the AC from 75 up to 85 because it's for the earth. I mean, this is a nightmare scenario.
Guys, it's all about control, and I can attest to that. I've got a smart thermostat meter in my house, and the dang thing tells me, oh, we adjusted it to be more eco-friendly and to do the save the environment, so we let it get hotter than what you normally set it to. And I'm over here thinking, who's controlling this, guys? All this stuff that we see, I mean, when you live it out, it's one thing, and when you experience it in real life, it's one thing. But when you hear this stuff and you know it's real, this is where, again, it's always about the control. If you appreciate this, guys, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, and want to say thank you to everybody who's watching. If you're not subscribed, please consider hitting that subscribe button, joining our family, We want to take care of you every day with the top news. We got so much going on, guys. We're so thankful for your support, sharing and liking our videos, and the super chats, being a member of the channel. Want to give some special love to Sweet Kitten, Sammy Young. Y'all show Sammy Young and Sweet Kitten some love in the chat. Remember, guys, we've been able to give almost $40,000 live on stream to local charities with your support. The purpose of this channel is to bring the truth, to make sure that we're not only just bringing the truth, but we are changing lives through our giving. I don't have to do this, but I do it because I want this channel to be known for giving. And it makes my heart so happy when I see people give and bless. And guys, y'all see me transparent on the 22nd of every single month. We're donating to a charity live on stream, and it's changing lives. Want to give some special love to T Heavy Guy for gifting 10 True Life News memberships. Acid Burn for gifting 10 True Life News memberships. Jacquee Silly Me Carry On. Lydia. Robert Cash. Deborah Gomez. Lay Lewis. The Texas Lazy. George Masalis. Thank you so much. Queen of Yeshua. Sweet Kitten. Sammy Young. Guys, show them some love in the chat. So much is going on. I am so excited for where things are going, and we just want to continue serving you, bringing you the best news ever, and making sure that we always put America first. We love you, appreciate you, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.